Hello guys, welcome back to Beyond the Bullpen podcast. It's been a while since I've been doing this, and I'm very excited to bring on Miss Vandana Tolani. She's the founder of Covanto. So it's India's boutique investment bank specializing from $1 to $50 million fundraisers from early to growth stage startups. I hope all the founders are listening. Over 25 years of experience. A bit about Miss Tolani here. She has an experience in deal making. She ran a family office across Singapore, Jakarta for 15 years before returning to India. She's also a venture advisor, loyal VC, in seed, back end fund with about 180 companies in 40 countries. That's the fund's background. And she's also a partner to a Silicon Valley venture studio. She has an overall 300 plus global investor network. She has secured a lot of capital for fintech companies, B2B SaaS, consumer agri-tech, deep tech, and lots more industries that you can reach out to her for always. And also, she has done over 200 keynotes and media spots on platforms like La Token, VCTV, Business World, and IIM and IIT's Entrepreneurship Cells. Some of the accolades for Ms. Tolani is she is one of the top 10 women in the Wealth Management 2021, Best Institutions Supporting Startups in 2022, Pioneering Women Leader in Investment Banking in 2024. I think this is a phenomenal achievement. Plus, the best achievement on all, Global Woman Leader in 2023. And to add on to that, some little nits and grits about her facts. Her background, she's a JBMS alumni based in Gurgaon, and she's a complete straight talker, and she has an eagle's eye for details and to valuation discipline, and she has been focusing on long-term bets. So good morning and welcome, Ms. Tolani. I wanted everyone to know, your background and your achievements. So, how's your day? How you feel?
Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you for the wonderful introduction. I'm having a great day and a great morning this morning, and happy to be on your podcast this day.
Thank you so much. Ms. Tolani, we'll just do some general background understanding of, how your experience has been, because all of our founders would want to know also about you. What did, running a family office in the international market teach you about capital and overall founder culture?
See, one thing that holds true across borders, whether it's Singapore, whether it's Jakarta or India, it's trust. Now, those early years gave me a chance to learn firsthand how trust builds, deals and relationships, and not just from investors towards founders, but the other way around too. It shaped me how I work, what Convanto believes in. If someone can't be trusted to communicate clearly and stay honest about what they know, not only that, everything else, if there's no trust, I feel that everything else becomes irrelevant. And over the years, I've learned that good founders don't pretend. They ask questions, they seek perspectives, they stay calm under pressure, and most importantly, they care deeply about the people that they are building for. So I think this is what one thing that has kept me ongoing till today.
So when we, talk about founders and of today and founders of, let's say, a couple of years back, how have you seen the transition about, how have founders changed? How has the culture changed in terms of, because everyone wants to grow a company nowadays. So that's why.
See, what happens is that, you know, now if you see post-COVID, technology has taken over. And many people who were in jobs, their mindset has changed from a job mindset to an entrepreneur mindset.
Right.
And that is also helping them grow. So I think, people are more proactive, progressive now in terms of adapting not only different kinds of technology, but also looking into different kind of um opportunities where entrepreneurship is think the mindset has totally shifted. Post COVID, it has shifted quite a lot.
Right. So in your, fundraising experience, which was the deal which didn't close or turn out the way you wanted, and you were like really rooting for it?
Um, See, I mean, deals. Yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah, so we were at which was that one deal you really like were rooting for and वो नहीं हो पाया?
See, there are many deals that don't go through, and that is not clearly the investment banker's fault. It is actually more on the founder's side. Now, to give you an example, we had a deal in an EV bike startup. Typically, what they were doing is, firstly, when they were presenting their MIS to the investors, their MIS had a lot of issues, and they had not informed us. When the fund manager pointed to them that, look, your MIS has an issue, please fix it, they went back and again they tampered the information. So in that case, it's not exactly the investment banker's fault that why the deal didn't go through. And in some cases, what they do is they take a valuation report from us. They also take a valuation report from their, what do you call, their CAs. Now, which doesn't match because the CA wants to keep them happy and shares a very high valuation
Right.
report. And we are more realistic. So there was one company where they were quoting a valuation of 125 CR, and we kept on telling them that your valuation is 75 CR, but they refuse to listen to us. So those cases don't go through because the founder is not listening to the investment banker and doing things which the investment
Hmm.
banker is also not aware of. In that case, the deal fails.
Right.
In one case, they bought a car with the investor's money, uh, or treated cancer with the investor's money. So these things are very unpredictable.
Mm.
Why a deal doesn't go through. What
Mm.
founders feel is that we as investment bankers can actually strangle the investors and get money out of them. Or,
Mm.
put hands in their pocket or, put a gun on their head and do that. That's not how it works. It's a win-win thing. You see, we are utilizing our 25 years relationships with the MDs of these funds to get the founders the investments that they require. But at the end of the day, it's also how they present themselves, what documents they are showing up, what is it that they are putting it across for the investors also matters. So it's a teamwork, actually.
So what I've realized and what I'm hearing from you, sorry to digress also a bit, is that these founders are also, in a way sitting on a pedestal. They know that they can raise a round after a round. So do you also think that there is now a culture of high cash burn and it's just become a fashion also?
Yeah, yeah. Startup has totally become a fashion nowadays. And, there are many youngsters, they are burning their mothers and fathers' hard-earned money into the startup. There are
Hmm.
many adults also, like, really middle-aged people who have burned 7 years of their
Savings.
job earning and savings into a startup. And they have such ego issues that they don't want to pivot. They think it's a buzz.
Hmm.
See, I'll explain you. During COVID, when somebody loses a job, then you want to take up entrepreneurship and want to try something because you want to make earning. It's different. But if you want to do it just because it's a hype in the market,
It's easy to raise
everything will work.
money and everyone is making money.
Yeah, it's very easy. Everybody you think is doing entrepreneurship is doing well. Some people don't have the skill set and they need to first build that skill set. It
I
also depends.
Right. Please go ahead.
Sorry.
Please go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. Yeah.
It also depends on what skill set you have. Some people only have a job skill set or a job mindset. Some
Hmm.
people, for them to switch to an entrepreneurship journey is difficult.
So wanted to understand just a bit in that. How is it that you evaluate ki, yeah, ये कंपनी चल सकता है, ये स्टार्टअप चल सकता है, नहीं तो ये फाउंडर चल सकता है. सो व्हाट इज द डिफरेंशिएटर फॉर यू? आर यू लाइक मोर ऑफ अ हॉर्स और अ जॉकी पर्सन, or are you like nahi, it's more of an idea? What is it that you look for and you have that intuition that okay, this may work?
See, when we speak to the founders, we can actually understand a little bit more about the company, like whether they have several co-founders or no, whether the company is private limited or no, whether their co-founders have complementary skills or no,
Hmm.
whether they are scaling up or no, how much money they have invested,
Right.
or they are only working on the investors' money.
Right.
These things we take into consideration.
Hmm.
And we also look into whether how humble is the founder. Like, what is it that the founder is looking at? When are they only looking at investments and they are being egoistic about it, or they actually want that investment?
Right.
No? So it also depends from founder to founder.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So that's how I evaluate also. I do my ref checks on them. I check their LinkedIn profiles. I check their websites.
Right.
I make sure proper checks on.
इस अभी इसमें ना, so recently I've been having a thought. Now let's talk about the inverse version of this. The inverse version is
Yeah,
some founders do not need to sell their company. They need to run their
yeah,
company, right?
yeah.
One such example I'll tell you, I just recently read 1 or 2 days back, is Minimalist. It's the skincare brand. They sold it to
Hmm,
Unilever. And I understand it
hmm,
must be a big exit for the company and everything. But
yeah,
parallelly, I was thinking that what if Minimalist didn't sell themselves? What if they continued by raising? This is where they could get that extra growth capital. And they could have become the next version of, bigger company. So I wanted to understand that, also where I'm coming to is, this is where I feel that businessmen or who are the real corporates, they look to acquire, versus these days, these founders are looking at an exit, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
where do you think are we going with this? I feel personally that because these days it's just about founders making companies and flipping them, getting an exit and making money and having their own VC and then doing something out of it. It's just like a
yeah, yeah,
dealing of probabilities and ये चलेगा तो नहीं चलेगा. So there is no like an actual business that everyone wants to do now, which they want to like build a corporate or build something substantial, I feel.
yeah, yeah. See, the thing is also, see, everybody is the founder. Are you
Sorry, I
there?
lost you. Yeah, please say again.
I'm saying everybody wants to make earnings, whether it's the founders or whether it's the investors. Now, uh, whether it's anybody, everybody is running, chasing the money part of it. And see, I'll tell you that we sometimes we look at shortcuts and we don't look at long-term goals with anybody.
Hmm.
So when we look at shortcuts, what happens is that we can make an easy buck there.
Hmm.
But in the long term, we lose the battle. Now, you can actually see the difference between Blinkit and Zepto.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, Blinkit is doing proper work, they're engaging properly with everybody, whether it's vendors, whether it's their customers. But if you look at Zepto, it's totally different.
Right.
So you can actually see the difference there between Blinkit and Zepto. You can feel it also yourself as a consumer or if you're a vendor partner, anything. So I think it all depends also on what is going on.
Hmm.
Like you can actually figure it out that this person is only chasing the money part, this person is
Don't you
chasing the
think so?
vision.
I mean, I don't mean to cut you, but don't you think so? ये pressure investors से भी आता है, that okay, we have raised more, you have raised more, we have raised more. Now exit, 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 exit. Since you are, less burn, exit, exit, exit. So list कर दो, list कर दो. So उसका भी pressure तो हो सकता, मतलब I'm just playing the devil's advocate here. Investors से भी pressure आ सकता है.
हाँ, इन्वेस्टर से भी प्रेशर आता है और फाउंडर्स भी गड़बड़ कर रहे होते हैं, तो इट्स बोथ वेज.
Hmm.
दैट्स व्हाई वी एज इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकर्स, we help you connect with the right kind of investors who are highly educated, who move in a structured fashion. They give you proper terms on performance. They also give you proper, feedbacks when you have
Hmm.
those monthly calls. So it's both ways. The pressure is both ways. But
Hmm.
once you have an investor as a partner, you have to also abide by. It's like a marriage.
Hmm.
It's two way. It's not just one way.
So let's come back to a bit on the personal side of things. Now you being a founder yourself, what are some of the outside noise that have fed into you that it gives you your mindset to deliver or to do more? So what are the headwinds that you face on a day-to-day basis?
Uh, Actually, see, sometimes you don't need to prove where you belong.
Hmm.
You're already doing. So instead of like wasting energy on breaking ceilings and spending it on building a floor, show up prepared, speak clearly, don't over apologize, surround yourself with people who respect your time and
Hmm.
not just your title.
Right.
And you're not here for permission, you are here to build. So what I learned is that anybody who's criticizing you is only doing so because they are doing less than you. So you
Hmm.
just push away all the negativities and move on, keep moving on. And when you're just focused on your work and you keep moving on, you definitely get a breakthrough. I've been posting on LinkedIn very organically,
Hmm.
and it's been few years I've been posting, but none of my posts went viral. But
Hmm.
recently, four posts went viral back to back. I don't
Hmm.
know what happened. Suddenly, this happened. Now, I wasn't expecting this. For people who
The
had,
algorithm has graced you.
so people who had rejected working with me, or investors who had rejected working with me, have started following up.
Insane.
So, so this is the thing, and who might have underestimated you at some point.
Ah, right. And how, and I understand that, there must be also a lot of pressure on you. So but on a day-to-day basis, you also must be understanding the importance of entrepreneurship and the importance of job creation and how is it that in today's world it matters. So what is it on a day-to-day basis now? Just trying to go a bit more personal here and what is it that you try to instill in your children now that they're in school? How do you make them look at the world differently than in the other than the other kids? Because school में कैसा रहता है, everyone starts at the same lane, and then they go to middle school, they go to high school, they go to college, they go to university. So till then everyone is in same lane, and then after that the gates just open. Everyone starts the same. So in a way everyone has the same mindset because of grades and everything, but it's the parenting at the end of the day that really gives them that extra alpha. I'm not going to say delta, I'm going to say that alpha. So how is it that you have ingrained in them, or you see them changing as compared to the other kids in the coming years also?
When I came here in 2014, my kids were very small. And what I did was I never forced them to do anything,
Hmm.
whether it's participating in a competition, whether it is having milk, whether it's having certain kind of breakfast, whether it's wearing certain kind of clothes. That helped them with their decision making skills.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then, sometimes they would make mistakes, but they would also bounce back. So they learn resilience and
Hmm.
patience. And I feel parenting also teaches you a lot of patience.
Hmm.
Uh, it also teaches you failure doesn't mean the end, and it's a part of learning.
Right.
So, this is what also I try to pass it on to founders as well.
Hmm.
And something won't go as planned, but you have to respond uh, to it as what define how you respond to it is how it defines you,
Right.
essentially. This is what I meant. Now, my daughter is 20 years old and she's studying in Germany. She
Okay.
doesn't take
Wonderful.
any money from me.
Wow.
She's working in a Swiss company and she supports her own education.
Amazing. Amazing.
And my son is in 18 now. He's in studying in India. He's
Right.
doing clinical psychology and he's the topper. I
Wow.
didn't have to force him to do this.
Ah.
It just gradually, it just shaped them, because I was never like, you have to get this grade only. Every time a problem would also come in school, I would first try to understand that what's going on,
Hmm.
and I would always stand by my children and explain the teachers, or explain the counselor, then come back home, just explain the consequences to them, and that's how we I help them grow. And we always communicate any topic. I can communicate with my children, but I have seen there are other parents and children, they cannot communicate,
Hmm.
and that is where the gap lies. If
Hmm.
you can just communicate to them freely about anything, you'll see that they are more open to you.
Hmm.
And then that's how you can also clear out their mindset. I remember when COVID happened, and there were many children who were misusing Instagram. Misusing, you must have also heard stories. But my daughter, she actually took it as a work. So she took a cake company's profile and she started working for them. She made their Insta, she made their
Amazing.
Facebook. She helped their business grow a
Amazing.
lot more,
Hmm.
because she had done all these. She has also done my website.
Hmm.
So she's done a lot of things for me as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I think that it's how you make them confident. It's
I
sometimes
Yeah. Please go ahead. Please. Please. Please go ahead.
we don't respect our children,
Hmm.
as we think they are younger than us, so we
Hmm.
can do anything to them. No, we have to treat them like human, and we need to respect each other all the time.
Absolutely. I think, but I would like to play a devil's advocate here. I read this or I saw this reel where, let's say my आपका generation ले लो. Your generation was more towards servicing your parents, meaning what they expect from you, and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
now that you also became older, you are servicing your children. What is it that they want and everything? I'm just playing a hypothetical scenario, right?
Hmm.
Now, it could also be the case that, when you were young and, the parents that you have, they must also have had, limited resources. And that is why they would always question कि ये क्यों आपका choice है, ये क्यों आपका desire है, ये क्यों आपको pursue करना है. But now that I'm just playing a devil's advocate, please understand that now that you're in a state of abundance, or it could be a mindset also. Abundance is a mindset. I am, to that also I agree. But is that more of a, please validate this, mindset hai, situation hai? What is it that led you be like, give them that freedom and not question their desires also?
See, when I came to India in 2014, we were not abandoned in any way.
Hmm.
uh, no, and the children had to go through hard times.
Hmm.
That depends. I'm sharing this because I want you to understand that it's not the abundance mindset.
Hmm.
That tiffins were given by other parents. You
Hmm.
know, it was like they would send extra so many tiffins in the beginning, and so those parents are still connected with us. They come over now and everything is so different.
Hmm.
It's not like that. It's also the conditioning. I'll
Hmm.
tell you, we are very conditioned
Hmm.
um, from the beginning. That because of that conditioning, we are not able to grow.
Hmm.
We are not able to grow as personalities,
Hmm.
or we
Who
also
you are
condition our,
inside.
here we are inside. So I'll tell you, when I shifted to India, and I kept on going back to my mother, and I
Mm,
said, "Look, I want to be with you. I want to be with you." And she said, "No, you are not going to be with me.
mm,
You have to do this. You have chosen this path. You have to be on this path on your
mm,
own."
mm,
So that day, I decided that I have to be on this path on my own. And you won't believe, when I scaled up, when I started getting awards, when I started scaling up and all, I actually took a back seat one day and I realized that everything was okay about me. I had
mm.
the talent. But somewhere, in the beginning, you lose yourself
Right.
in terms of confidence, in terms of believing yourself, in terms of moving on. And when you actually happen to do everything alone, and then you say, "Oh, means," like, then it hits back to you that, "Oh, I was fine." So I think this is what is it's more conditioning.
So
Um,
I
so
think
it's
is the
everybody doesn't get the abundance mindset, but I think even if they don't have abundance, they can
mm,
raise their children in such a way that they are free to do whatever they want.
so does that become a leap of faith in a way?
Um,
Because
yeah,
what we try to do is we try to control children, control nahi. See, right decision lo, right decision lo, right decision lo.
yeah.
But is it like you're taking a leap of faith on your children that no, they're going to take the right decision by owning themselves? Is it? Would you say that?
Yeah, you have to let them make mistakes so they understand the consequences.
Mm,
And you have to keep telling them, if you do this, this is the consequence. If you do this, this. And you have to let them.
right.
It's not that my children have never made mistakes. It's
Mm,
not like that. We are not perfect people here, or we are the
mm,
only one on this. We are not like at a pedestal here. But I'm saying everybody makes mistakes and they learn through that.
right.
And then they reflect on themselves and then they bounce. So there are several incidents my children went through in their schooling, in their colleges, and everywhere. And I think by and by they learned how to deal with it. And now that's why it helped them to be good decision makers and resilient. Like,
Speaking about resilience, and speaking about having difficult situation in school and colleges, I'll just share something I just remembered, very apt for this situation, that I used to stay in Singapore for about 14 15 years. I came back to India and I was staying in Nasik. It's a very small town outside Bombay. I was staying with my nani, my mom's mom, and I was very new to the Indian culture. My accent was different, my dialect was slightly different, and everything was just different. And when I used to go to school, it was just a very tough time to for me to fit in the kids, because to understand how do they speak, how is it the mindset, schooling ka alag mindset, and I came in like late eighth standard. So suddenly everyone is fighting for 10th. I don't even know what 10th is, and it was just a tough time for my identity to just be rewired. So it's like मुझे यहाँ से उठा के सीधा यहाँ पे डाल दिया, and everything was just so fast paced, and everyone's memorizing, everyone is so stressed all the time, and I didn't understand what that was. And it took me, I think, at least a year and a half. I think 10th के 10th में थोड़ा थोड़ा मतलब वो फील हुआ वो, बट बाय दैट टाइम देयर वाज अ डिफरेंस इन द कंप्लीट कल्चर दैट आई फेल्ट, schooling, education, somewhere. And I was staying all by myself with my nanny and everything. But those were the episodes at that moment. It was the toughest. That shift was the toughest, but I had to understand within myself that without disrespecting the space, without disrespecting the culture and the people around, how is it that I can amicably, friendly in a way, stand out, try to stand out? And I knew I was not the smartest because I didn't come from a memory or memorizing background. Yeah, best handwriting, क्योंकि cursive भी होता था. And what I realized is I'm just going to be, I'm just going to be who I am. And it happened so that in 10th standard, I got the best student award, and I didn't even have the highest grades in 10th. But I think that speaking from, what you said, I just, for this particular moment, I thought, of sharing this moment where it all added up, and I feel it all adds up at the end, because if you're true to who you are inside and if you don't want to hurt people, I think people also see that, and
Yeah.
and good things also end up happening with you. This is what
Yes. Yes.
serendipity जो बोलते हैं इंग्लिश में. So
Huh.
yeah, yeah, I think yeah,
It
that's
takes
that.
the turnaround. Like you just have to focus on yourself. My brother was born and brought up in Delhi in a big house, biggest school, Lodi school. Everybody is skating, doing things, big grounds, big classroom. Suddenly, we had to move to Bombay in
हाँ,
a school which is like Chota Sa, and teachers are speaking in Marathi all the time.
right.
And he got so startled. And he now also came out of that. My children were in Jakarta, in one of the best IB schools. And over there, everybody is like even the children are like Bollywood stars. They will carry these
Right,
fancy bags, they will
right.
wear fancy dresses, and they will be always like perfect in everything. It was a very big shift for my children
Wearing
also.
Converse, Billabong brand, and I know
Yeah,
how it
like
goes in
this is what, and when I got them to be grounded like this, now
right,
they are flexible with everything.
exactly,
Whether you take them to the highest brand, they'll be the same person. You'll take them to the lowest people, they'll be the same people. So I think, what some people noticed is that,
right,
in schools, you have Didis and Bhaiyas, right? That, like, they always say good morning and thank you to all the Didis and Bhaiyas. So the Didis and Bhaiyas, remember them that these children actually would always say thank you and good morning to us, but other snobbish children won't.
हाँ, हाँ,
So I think they would say, "हाँ, मैं भैया को जानता हूँ," because they always say good morning to me.
हाँ,
Like, uh, they would make extra efforts
right,
for
right.
my children. Why? Because you have to
Values,
spread warmth.
yeah, yeah, they can see that also.
Yeah, even with the maids and all, they're very respectful. Because the one thing that I taught them is that you can study anything in this world, you can get anything in this world, but your behavior, you cannot get it. Your behavior is what matters to me, how
Right,
you behave, everybody. So
right.
I've
What you
always said,
speak also, I believe, isn't it? What you speak also, how you speak to
yeah,
people.
how
Yeah.
you speak that. For behavior, I've been very particular. I said,
Right.
you don't study, I don't care. You study, I don't care. But your behavior has to be appropriate with how you respect another human being. Is
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I don't want to bring my mom into this, but this is my mom's a teacher, and she absolutely stands by this also, and that's the one thing that she has, brute force किया है मार के, that you have to be a good person, and I think that is the most crucial thing that anyone can be. But using
yeah.
that as our base now, how is it that you can push this into founders now to make them into good people, and try to pass this message to founders that they have to be good people first, rather than try to absorb that fund and cash, and just exit and make that personal wealth.
See, actually, most founders who get associated with me, eventually they change, they also change
Hmm.
because they understand that, this is how, she's been dealing with it, or this is how. I cannot really change their conditioning or their mindset. For me, it's more of a business. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, we have to keep that business wall in between as well. But when they see me doing things, when they see me, and when I tell them, look, you need to do it this way, you need to do it that way, so they like some founders are really follow me, and they really do well because of that. And because of this, everything they'll ask me, can I get this lawyer from you? Can I get this person from you? Do you think that this is better? And some founders, they think that they know everything, so they won't even ask me. anything, and they'll just go ahead and do. So it all depends also on how they are. But I have seen founders change as well. Like in the beginning, they'll say things to me, then eventually they'll come back and say, "Hey, thank you. That I didn't know that why a pitch deck is important.
Right.
I didn't know that why were you asking these questions." So it later on it strikes them. If I didn't go through this 10 investor meetings, I wouldn't know what an investor call is. So I think all that also gives them a lot of grilling and helps them come out. Like we also train a lot of founders how to speak.
What I will just re ask the question again, that how can you use the base of what you use for parenting, and I don't mean to sound absurd, but how is it that you can change, or you try to bring change in the founder culture? How do you, try to make people see the good in things, and not to try to, chase the fast exits, the fast cash? It may not be something that, you may have tried, but what is it that you wish to do with founders, or to train founders? So how is it that you want to do things differently, this kind of a base?
See, I would want founders to follow their investment bankers. If they have hired an investment banker, have the trust in the investment banker and follow. And every time the investment banker cannot like pull out the money from a bank or a fund and give it to you guys. They have to accept that there is eventually, if a deal is not working out, it's the um, you know, founders' mistake somewhere, which they need to improvise on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes they're not ready to accept this fact. At the press of some founders expect replies at the press of a button at 1 a.m. at night. Some founders, expect a reply. They are texting you at 1 a.m. They don't feel bad about it,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't see the timings, and they expect you to reply. So that won't happen. I think that needs to, if I have to train founders, I'll have to train them in such a way that, you drop your egos. Like, I'd made this LinkedIn post, and then I had this person write to me, "You didn't cover me up in your research." How am I supposed to, like,
Right.
am I doing the post for myself, or I have to cover somebody up on
Mm.
the research for that? So I said, you can share it on your wall if you feel that you
Right.
need some brand. I mean, so these are some of the things like 1 a.m. texting a lady. They don't feel bad about it. They don't want to follow 10 to 6 rule. They want to message you on Sunday and Saturdays because they are free. So I think that mindset needs to change a lot. They expect you that you will reply to them whenever they text you. That's not going to happen.
So what I'm trying to understand here from you is, I mean, I'm not going to say all, I'm not going to try to generalize, but these days founders are trying to be a bit, egoistic in a way.
Yeah.
But moving towards, how is it that they are now treating their team? How, this is the demand side of things, or this is the other side of things. What about the internal stakeholders of theirs? um, Internal stakeholders also feel that crush, or that so much of pressure that they have to deliver for the founder, overworking, overstressing. It's more like, humans are now just all about problem solving. There is
Hmm.
no humanity involved. And I personally have seen a lot of intelligent kids coming out of B schools, coming out of top IIT grads also. And they are just being, I'm not going to say, I have a lot to say, but it's more to, I want to say it very delicately, that they are just about problem solving. They do not have any emotions of their own. They do not know that they have overstressed or overburdened themselves. They need to recognize themselves, that how much of self sabotage, or how much of self punishment that they are doing, in order to get those results for that, problem statements. So how have you seen this, or how do you see this, crazy work ethic that is expected out of, team members, employees, for the founder? Because I also understand that there is so much of discussion that happens on LinkedIn. There's so much of news that has been viral. There's so much of, MDs that have also gone and said wrong things on the internet and on the news. So where does the, things stop? Is it that founders need to say, be more gravitating and say that, okay, I'm going to apply empathy, that, okay, you guys do as much as you want? Because at the end of the day, employees do not have that ownership in the company. They do not have that stake. But it's just for the rewards or that ESOPs or that cash bonuses that they have forced themselves to work. So it's either the founders take a stand, or is it the employees that be like, okay, no, I'm just going to take a step back. Mujhe, I don't want the bonus, but I don't want 15 or 20% hike. I'm happy with 10%. So where is that, and how do you see the entire team culture, landscape right now, which is happening because of so much of, fundraising, and in order to, deliver so much for the company?
See, we can take the example of the girl in ENY,
Right,
and she lost her life. Now, the moment she felt pressured and she felt that this is what is being done to her,
right,
she had to report to somebody.
right,
Now, the fact that she didn't report and her parents knew about it, they should have there and then told her to step back. For me, I have always told everybody that if you feel uncomfortable about anything, any situation, anything that you feel that this is something is wrong about it, your gut always tells you, just take a back seat. Take a break of 1 month, 2 months, come back again. The world will not come to an end. What happens is that everybody is in a rat race. They want to figure out everything today itself. And that is why there are better investment bankers than me. They could be doing well. They could be on
mm.
thousands of better podcasts than me. But I take my
Thanks.
own, like,
No
you
worries,
know,
I'm just kidding.
yeah, so it's like I am like slow and steady wins the race. That
Right,
tortoise and hare the story we already have that as well in place. So that is one thing. The second thing is I have an employee.
right,
So she will just text me, ma'am, I'll start working at this time today, and I'll finish this, and she will give results for that.
right,
So I don't care whether she starts working at 4 p.m., she starts working at 12 noon, or she starts working, at night. As long as she's done the work.
right,
Any employee who works with us, we make sure that we are giving them lunch. The girls, we are dropping them back. We had made one thing that nobody has to work 9 to 5.
right.
You can work anytime, but you have to finish the tasks.
Absolutely.
We don't cut for taking offs also. We
Mm.
don't do that. So there are a lot of things that we have changed.
Right,
And if I have to nudge any person also in my company, I would just say that आज काम करने का mood है या नहीं है like what's the thing, like where are you, like something like
mm-hmm.
क्या सोचा है, like I won't like say ये क्यों नहीं किया वो क्यों नहीं किया, you're fired, and speak abruptly. So but I'll say, look, I'm accommodating so much, you also need now to do something, let's just work it out. So I think that mindset needs to change. Even as us as investment bankers, the moment a client pays us, they think they have bought us,
Ah.
that they have the right to pounce on us. It's not that way.
That's everywhere.
Like
Even this is, I feel this is everywhere. I mean, and I think you're a very, good person that way, that you have given that flexibility. But this is, I'm telling you, this is everywhere. The second you pay, decide a person for their salary and you give them extra bonus or something, you expect them to deliver results like, it's like you slot in something and then results, results,
yeah,
results, results.
yeah,
I
yeah,
paid,
like
I
button
paid
press
you.
होते हैं.
Where's my results? Or something like that.
Yeah. I signed up with a woman client last week. The
Okay.
first thing she calls me
Congratulations.
up. Yeah, she says that, uh, how many hours are you going to devote every day? I said, look, you have signed me up for your investments. We are going to give you weekly reports. We are going to do this, but it's not that all the time I'm going to work for you. So I'm not your employee. You have outsourced me. Do you understand how this works? And
Right.
then she said, okay. It was so, like,
Clear,
these are the things.
maintaining boundaries, clearing your boundaries, and being vocal
Hearing.
about your communication that, this is not going to work with me, or this is not how things should happen, and this is not the
Yeah,
best
yeah,
practice.
yeah. So if it is no, it's a clear no. If anybody feels bad about it, I just say a clear no. I mean, I do. There are clients who have paid me, but I do tell them, look, here is where you're going wrong.
Hmm.
You cannot do like this. So these are the different things. I mean, I guess, which one needs to practice. And I think people have lost their people somewhere lose. I have seen really fickle people, like, like really fickle minded. I don't think we need to have such people. We need counseling for such people, that, hey, what's going wrong? Or maybe they're not reading enough self-help books, I don't know, or not meditating
Right.
enough, but there definitely need some changes there.
I think that is where intent, comes into the picture, that a person, if or a person or a team or an organization, if they're very intent driven, good things will happen to them. And that is why people with good intentions, like I just said, I'm saying it again, but good intent always wins at the end. The culture always wins at the end, not the strategy or not your goals that is out there. Because that's how
Yeah,
you deal with people, you deal with problems, you deal with the negotiations, the rejections, and it's and a subtle self promotion here, and it's with good intent also. Someday, I'll be able to have the best finance podcast also, and you will also be with the best intent, be the best female investment banker also. And at the end of the day, and I have said this also to a few friends of mine, and I keep saying this, which I personally have learned, is that what matters, what doesn't matter is how long it takes to get there. What matters is you get there. It could be in 5 years, it could be in 10 years. And but the patience needs to be there, the vigor needs to be there, the dynamism should never die, because that's what your life's work is, and you want your life's work to be known and to be remembered, and you don't want it to just be put on a dollar that okay, we just had an exit or he just did this, and that's it. So वो बहुत थोड़ा सा, I personally feel it becomes a hollow if you're just trying to go so fast without caring about the consequences of things, and without having a pure intent in place. And you
yeah.
know coming to a final segment which I wanted to ask. This is where I asked about last night's headlines. So if you had to pick, a VC, could be a VC, it could be startups, that has made a headline for you. Sorry, I'll say it again. So, this is the last segment where I ask about, last night's headlines, which is, if you could pick a VC or a startup that has made a headline for you, but not necessarily a news headline. So which one would you pick? What do you feel they're doing differently? What are the, best practices you feel that they must be doing differently? Or they're trying to get into innovation, and what is your choice on that? Who would be the winner for you right now?
For VC, it will be Apurv Gautam from Atomic Capital.
Shout out
He's
to
a very,
Apurv Gautam from Atomic Capital. We will tag him for sure.
yeah. So I think he's very straightforward. If he can do the deal, he will straight away tell you he can do the deal. He'll come on the call. He'll make it short, 30 minutes. He won't disrespect anybody on the call. He'll never be rude to anybody, even if the other party is, there's some disturbance in there. This thing he will not never he's never been abrupt with anybody. He'll give a proper call. He'll ask proper steps. After that, he's very fast in
Right.
giving back also.
Hmm.
So I think that would be one person. And recently, I did work for an AI company. It's called 5iv.ai.
Five
And there is
IV.
.ai.
Not AI.
Yeah.
Shout out to them also. We'll tag them also. Yeah.
Yeah. And they actually went ahead and wrote a very beautiful thing about me on LinkedIn,
Okay.
and which really touched me because I did not expect them that to write such a long recommendation and such a beautiful one. And it was so beautiful that I thought that okay, this person has actually recognized my work. Even they wrote that she has no nonsense attitude and all that. It was like so nice of them to like they made three proper
Right.
paragraphs.
Right.
So basically that was really touching. So I think I would like to work with them more because they actually really follow me. They
Huh.
call me for everything. They ask me, if things are not working out, they're not going to like say, okay, it didn't work out or anything. They're like really nice people. So that is one thing. These are the two people I think they've been really nice to me.
Right.
And Apoor will come on all the calls if he likes the deal. If he cannot do, he'll just straight away like, look, I cannot do this. That's it. And everything is short. His emails are short. His conversations are short. His the way he does it, so it makes it more professional. No, there is no like going on and on and on
Mm-hmm.
about it. I think that is these are the two people I really enjoy working with, and they treat me professionally. I treat them professionally. They do their work professionally.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, in India, it's very difficult for women founders to work professionally.
Mm.
Like it gets sometimes it gets very uneasy. Like to work also because you feel like okay, all the time this is happening. There's this male
Right.
and female bond that keeps going on.
This
So
is
I think
where
that
this is where also I want to ask you your last question is what everyone keeps asking or talking about advice, but I
hmm,
feel at the end of the day it needs to be very customized and it needs to be very tailored and be very specific. Nahi to advice very generalistic. But
hmm.
if there was someone young, driven, exactly an exact replica of Miss Tolani, Miss Vandana Tolani right now, a younger version who's entering into the markets, who wants to be a finance professional or who wants to have something of their own. What is a customized advice would you like to give her?
I think one thing is if you're working with men, just keep it conversations short, professional. Like how men also do the same thing. They just
Right.
keep it short, professional, one-liners. That's it. No need to play a victim at any
Hmm.
point for anything for that matter. Just move on. With if you're not comfortable with anybody, just walk away with grace. That's it. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to give back.
Hmm.
Actually, this I have seen. I would like to tell you that if at that point you don't give back, you can be firm about it. You can pin a person down politely. But if you are trying to give back, you have that thing in you and you don't walk away gracefully with something, you will actually see that universe is giving it back to them.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you will actually see it happening and you will be like, oh, how did this happen? I have really seen it in my entire life that universe is actually given back. And if you
Hmm.
do something incorrect, you don't have to say anything. You be silent, universe will hit back. Because then the universe, but the moment you try to take control, you try to come into that position of universe, then you lose it. Like you don't have to see if two people are wrong. Can two wrongs become right?
Hmm.
So I think if one is doing wrong, you don't have to do the same thing and behave like them or you just walk away. You are not
Absolutely.
them. You are you. So how you are there, that is what matters.
Hmm.
And you won't believe that people actually start reaching out to you
Hmm.
when they know that they have done wrong to you. They actually start reaching out to you and they say, hey, I had reached out to you in this year about this thing.
Hmm. People
I'll tell
remember.
you, yeah, there's one company that we helped them with the $4 million. They
Okay.
did not pay us.
Okay.
Yeah. And I went to the fund that was the lead investor and I said, look, you're the lead investor and this is what your, company has done. He also decided not to pay me.
Oh.
Now, in one of the conferences, I was speaking about myself and people were clapping and all. And he comes up to me and says, you have really grown. And I said, yeah, I have. And I just walked
Hmm.
away because and that fund is actually blacklisted with us.
Hmm.
We never contact them for any deal of ours, and
Right.
they're a big fund. But we have made this principle that you don't respect, that's it. We don't do, and how the universe has given them back, you'll be surprised. So, I think we don't need to do anything. The universe takes charge, and we just have to be who we are,
Hmm.
move on, and this something with me I've noticed. Anybody who tries to or even thinks of doing wrong, suddenly I see wrong things happening to them.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I think to myself,
Ah.
like, okay, now you're getting it.
Ah. 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 Ah.
I don't have to really do anything. The universe takes charge for me. So I strongly believe in my universe, in myself, and I really don't look back. If anything is like something is not working out, people are betraying you, move on.
Hmm.
Keep going on, and you will see that actually you excel more than that.
Hmm.
Uh, then you don't really have to really fight with anybody. And people who are like, there was this client of mine, the fund had reached out to them and wanted to give them a term sheet. Maybe they forgot to put me in the mail or what. The founder really called me up and said, look, this is what is there. So, there are people who will actually keep you in the loop. There are people who would not want to keep you in the loop. But then they have to also bear their karmas because how much can you trouble a person, right? So I
Hmm.
think this is what I believe.
Hmm. 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 I think that's a very sweet note to end. And this is something I would like to also share. After speaking to you, I felt a lot of warm energy. I felt a lot of, resilience in your voice, and I felt a lot of, fighting spirit. And at the same time, grace. That was the most important thing I felt, while I'm speaking to you. So, once again, a huge shout out to you, Miss Vandana, and to what Covanto does. And I would request all founders to definitely reach out and to trust Miss Covanto, sorry, Miss Tolani with her Covanto as a startup with all the investment banking services. I apologize for that slip on that. And I would definitely love to, also continue this kind of warmth and grace that you have with all the success that your children also trying to pursue. And yeah, that's a great note to end. And I had a great conversation. So everyone, thank you for listening. And yes, Miss Vandana, if you want to end it, you can end it for us with your last signatures.
So just truly believe in yourself. Uh, don't fall for criticism around you so much that you lose your confidence
Right.
and move on, keep moving on, be positive in your this thing. And remember that if universe closes one door, don't knock at that door again. There are thousands of doors that get open. We never look at that. We keep on knocking at one door which is closed. So the more doors close for you, remember there are more doors that are opening. We just have to be on the lookout and be positive and keep moving, keep going on. Lord is there. The universe will bless everybody, and I feel that all of you should read the book, Power of the Subconscious Mind,
Mm-hmm.
because whatever we are today, we have attracted through our subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, whatever we do today, we have attracted. Uh, through, our own subconscious mind. So
Right.
if we read that book, you will attract the good opportunities. And there is abundance in the universe. You just have to extract it and work towards it. And I think everybody, each one of us will be blessed and protected.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Vandana. Thank you for your time, your energy, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for listening. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.